2006 as a repair and renovation mainly for the existing magistrate court. But when we engaged with the client, they decided that there is a need for more space. They decided to come with the new norms, which we have acted on those new norms as a public works. We appointed a team of professionals. They have done the design for this new building, also spoke for the old building. The project at some point, the client didn't have a funding until 2018. Then the funding was made available. We started with the procurement of the contractor. The scope of the project consists of the providing the regional court, the equality court, the civil court, and the family court. On this building, we are having three regional court and three civil court and equality and family court. And also, we provided accommodation for the supporting staff, which mainly is the stores, the kitchen, the staff room, the public waiting area. And we also provided for 17 holding cells, which are on the other side of the building. The offices in total is 250. We're also having 100 parking for staff and the public. The public parking is the one that you see in front of the building. We're having the under parking for the staff members only, and we're also having the parking for the magistrate in our third floor building. Currently, we have appointed Musana Trading at 339, including VAT. We have since authorized 477, including the CPAP and professional team. We already spent 364 of our total budget of 477. Out of the total of the 364 that we have spent, we have managed to spend 84 million for a local community on the subcontractors that we appointed and the repairers. We had some challenges that because the plan was to complete this project in 26 months, we had challenges which varies from the professional team that we terminated in the team. We have, after terminating the team, we decided to assign the project to our internal team, which we are currently having the internal architect, the internal project principal agent. We are having the civil, which is internal. We are having the structural engineer, which is internal. We are also having the, the principal agent also is internal. So we are mainly left with the external consultant. We are having electrical, mechanical, fire and security, and landscape architect. The challenges that we encountered, like I said, was mainly the termination of the contractor, and also when the team came in, we experienced the delays in terms of doing the drawings and the specification on the project, and also we had the COVID-19, which also made the project to delay with 18 months. We have extended the time until 17th of August 2024 with the intention of further extending the project for 6 months, which we can safely say we are intending to complete the project somewhere in February. The current challenges is related with the stormwater pipe that's supposed to go through the TUT housing and the stadium. We need to register the servitude, but due to the ownership problem, we cannot start with that process. We have engaged the province to assist us with that process. And also the other challenge that we can see that most of the ceiling have been done, but we haven't done the panels, is that we are still going to put the ICT, which we're also resolving with our client. I will end there in terms of our brief report, DM.
I'll just, on a high level, also just to say which areas that we'll be working about. We need to talk about what activities we're currently busy with, what activities outstanding. So on this court, there is two entrances. There's an entrance on the far end, which is for the inmate that goes to the cells, as well as the perimeter wall with where the security is. On the other side, you have the main entrance, which goes into the parking, where the public will be parking, going into the main entrance where you walked up the main stairs and the reception. And when you go around, you have the staff parking, which is on the ground floor. And if you go around, you've got another parking by the magistrate, which is a ramp going to the first floor. The magistrate have their own entrance into the building that is secured, and it's got high level security. That goes straight up to the second floor where their offices are, as well as the library, boardroom, and the courtrooms. Then on the first floor, it's the reception area. Then the rest of the offices, you've got the section that's for the NPA, you've got the interpreters section, you've got a bridge that is linking to the existing court. On the ground floor, it's the parking, which is covered parking underground. Got another parking on the other side, which is administration parking. You also have a bridge that it links to the existing court. So you've got two areas that can link to the court on the other side. And on the first floor, it's mainly offices and reception. The NPA offices, the interpreters offices on the other side. And on the second floor, we've got 8 courtrooms, that's from what my colleague had said. Then we've got the smaller courtrooms, which is the 8 children's courts as well, which is directly next to the courtrooms. Then you've got offices on the outer side, which the public has access, but when you get to the court, they only have a certain restriction. On the other side, which is in the middle, you've got the magistrate section. The magistrate section has got a library, like I had said, the kitchen. They've got their own toilets inside, and they've got access controlled on every door going into the courts. There's access control. We'll be able to see that as well. Then on the ground floor, from the other side, you've got on the ground floor, you've got 17 cells, holding cells. You've got a bigger cell. And on the first floor, you've got, from the ground floor, you've got stairs leading to the first floor. We've got 2 cells that lead to the courtrooms. Those 2 cells are also surrounded by SAPS offices, toilets, and so the security around those. And we've got 3 consultation areas with 3 visiting rooms each for the inmates and the public. What we're busy with currently, we've done the service, all our rooms look like this. The lights are in, the mechanical works are in, the electrical, we've done ceiling grids. So the only thing that's delaying us now is that we need to do the ICT so that we can close up the ceilings. Once we close up the ceilings, we'll do carpets and put in the cabinets. And the project is done.
Thank you very much for that brief. And I will allow our leadership.
No, siyabonga, and thanks once again. Greetings, Miss DDG Kafile and the entire team. We want to greet the Department of Justice, colleagues from Department of Justice. We also want to greet the Councillor, Mastole no CLO uSithole naye kodwa bahlukeneke ngokusho kwabo, the main contractor, members of the SAPS. We are grateful you are here. From our side, we'll just throw issues. These are issues nje akhulunywayo, amanye siwathole formally, amanye siwathola informal. So when we get these issues, we must bring them together so that knows what is our view. We are controlled by the fact that we are now at a stage where we are progressing. We can see where we are going, but we are not entirely happy by the delay that we have suffered. As public works, we want to get into a stage where we will deliver on time within budget. There are few projects where we are beginning, and it's one project, it's with DOG, where we are beginning to deliver even before what you would have given us as your time frame. Very few, 0.01 or so. We want to increase. We want many projects to be finished, completed, and handed over on time and within budget. So we'll continue to try and improve our performance as the department. And mostly, we will work on building the internal capacity. Now, few things have caused problems here, which we want to be upfront that we don't accept those things. The first one, after local government elections, the councillor who was in the area didn't come back as a councillor. And the new councillor was not integrated in the steering committee. And that then creates some kind of a disconnect between the project and the community. The fact that the initial councillor, the one who was here when you started, was part and would interact with committees, it meant even the new councillor should have been taken on board. And I think we want to be clear on that. For us, we work on principles. We don't work on individuals, irrespective. Now, the second issue, we have been told by DDG and the team that we have to work with yourself, guys, to finalize the issue of the servitude, where the pipe will go, and that will include go through some household. And I said there is a CLO for that, and there is a councillor and the main contract. They are the first who must go and say, this is the servitude we want, and it is this long, and it will be here. These are affected individuals, and then negotiate and solve those issues. If the land does not belong to individual local people here, we then take that with the Department of Public Works in the province. We have a date for a meeting with Public Works in the province because we have a number of issues to discuss with them, not only this one. But we want this issue to be clarified, and I think CLO, you will have to give the office the report on how far you've gone on that. The third issue is opportunities for locals. It does happen that when we go, big companies go from one area to another area with their subcontractors. That is wrong. We don't support that. If a main contractor goes to an area, that main contractor must ensure that subcontractors are sourced locally. We encourage that. But it does happen in some cases that when contractors, for whatever reasons, get into an area, they will adopt a particular company as a subcontractor. And that company becomes one, and others get neglected. And we want transparency. Main contractors must have their own framework. And I will plead that we include this as part of social facilitation. There must be a clear framework on how to source local contractors. Clear, open, and transparent. The third issue, or linked to that, opportunities, job opportunities. It must be clear how you are employing people. Because if you will come here, have one person who will go around employing people without community structures, you will then set us against the community. You must have a framework on employment of local labor, but also do that in a transparent way through what? Your steering committee involving local leaders. At a departmental level, Mr. Shabangwani, I have said this. One of the reasons why our projects are escalating both in terms of money and in terms of time, escalation is caused by this issue of appointing individual professional teams. You will have an architect, you will have quantity surveyor, you will have this, you will have everything. And we have said, when we appoint, let's appoint a team that is well composed, so that one who designed works simultaneously with the one who deals with the bill of quantities, and then everything moves smoothly. There should be no point where a report is held by someone who does not want to pass it to the other person. And that's what has often delayed our project. Then the last issue that I want to raise, not raised by anyone, is that from time to time it's reported that main contractors, sometimes you get people who are non-South African to work in the project. Now, this is wrong. It's an allegation that I believe it's not correct. But it's an allegation that is all over that sets us against the local community. That sometimes you work with people who are not South Africans. And I don't know whether that has happened, but I've got that report outside the platforms where we have met. When we met with the councillor, when we met with you and the team, you didn't raise this. But when we further engage in the community and in structures, we identify this complaint that the main contractors sometimes bring people who are not from South Africa. Let alone, Uti, you bring people who are not South Africans, but you bring people who are not from local for the work that should be done by local people. So these are issues that I thought I should come here and raise them with you so that you correct them. In the space in the space of work that is remaining, is outstanding, we don't want to see this thing again. We want to see an implementation that is continuing with no problems. The team from the Department of Justice, they carry a mandate because they are here on behalf of Ms. Tembi Smelane, the minister, and therefore we must go back to them and work out a date for the opening of this court. And you must tell us, when are you going to complete? When are you aiming to complete this court? What is your remaining work? How long will it take?
The date that we've anticipated for completion of the court is February, for both phase 1 and phase 2.
February 2025. Has that been agreed on plans with all those, yourself, Tsepiso?
Yes, we'll sit with the contractor and the principal agent looking at the outstanding work we've agreed that we'll finish in February.
So let's finish by February. Can we finish this by February? Yeah, let's agree that by February, this must be. And we have no extension on that. And therefore, let us work clearly. Bring all stakeholders on board. CLO, this is not your project. It's not your project, it's government project. Councillor, it's not your project. It is the government project. It is not our project as the department. It's a project belonging to government, in particular, the Department of Justice. By end of February, beginning of March, we must hand over this court to the Department of Justice. And as we live here at Inabaga Public Works, we minister, we will be beginning to engage with the Department of Justice in terms of handing over that project in 6 months' time. And we are not going to change that because of any other thing. We say it's enough with delayed projects. Enough with project that comes in the area without communities, but communities must be employed following proper processes. And that's why I said, where there is a need, the unit that deal with facilitation must be brought in to work on that. So I would say we are controlled, not happy, controlled by the fact that there is progress.
So this is one of the courts, public gallery. This is the stairs going down to the cells on the first floor. Under every court there is a cell. And then that is on that side, we've got accesses for the judges. Three original courts, this is the criminal court, another criminal court on the other side, and on that side we've got 3 courts, there is a community court, then you go to smaller courts, you do the locality court and the civil court. Where it's eight. And you can also run it with HDB court. For example, for this court. So throughout that section, you have magistrate officers, there is a customer officer, all these
The
first floor cells as well as the main cells in the country. And we also have a tank to harvest the rainwater. So the water will be used through those houses. This one is provision.
Provision. No, all right, we attend. Thanks. And inspect all departmental projects. We have much focused on those that are delayed to ensure that we intervene and fast track the implementation of those projects. While we take new projects, ensure that they are rolled out, but it is important that there is no project that is left behind. It is known that early this year or last year, we were in Mamelodi to attend to the issue of Mamelodi Regional Court, and we are going to continue with it up until it is finalized. We are happy that then here in Soshanguve, yes, there have been delays. The project started in 2018 in terms of documentation, but in terms of allocation, it started in 2019. And when we started, as public works were affected by the lockdown due to COVID-19. But after that, we then managed to come back and ensure that we continue with the work. Yes, in between, we've had glitches because of different professionals who are supposed to do some work. They will come in and withdraw because of various reasons. As a result, most of the work in terms of professionals in the industry, it ended up being done by the department itself. And that is what we want to see going forward in terms of professional services. Whether you talk of surveyors or any professionals in the built environment, we want to build the capacity within the Department of Public Works. Having inspected the work done and interacted with the reports, we have said there are things that have been of concern. The first is the integration of local community leaders in the project so that they become the eyes of the government and be able to report in case there are issues. But secondly, we need to ensure transparency on the opportunities that are created, both in terms of business opportunities for local and in terms of job creation. We have said now giving ourselves 6 months to complete this project. As we are here today, we will be monitoring on monthly basis in terms of the report and in terms of the portfolio manager who will be coming here to monitor the work that is being done. And at the beginning of February, I will come back to ensure that we do a last inspection before the handover that we believe should be sometimes in March 2025. So this is not just a visit, but it is meant to ensure that we provide direct intervention and unlock this project. I thank you.
Any questions?
Yes.
Colleagues.
Deputy Minister, it's Lerato from FM News. Then Deputy Minister Bernice Swart, last year in July, had indicated that she's confident that this project would have ended by December last year. As it happened, we are confident that you'll be able to meet what you just said in terms of working on the 6 months and all that. And you just mentioned that certain professionals withdrew as a result of various reasons. Can you at least state one of the reasons why they actually withdrew? And also, did we encounter construction mafia through this project?
Any other question?
Minister, are there any additional resources or support needed to revise the plans?
Well, in terms of the resources, we are continuing on the basis of the application that was there. If there is escalation or variations that is through relevant structures, when it comes to professionals that would because of their own contractual issues remain not the department. So we will not want to enter into their space. It is a space between the subcontractor who might have been an architect and the relevant contractor. So let us leave it at that. With regard to the so-called construction, they have been in the but much. This has been a different kind of a project because we were not stopped from working because of that kind of either extortion or people demanding bribe. When it comes to the question of how are we going to ensure that the time frame we've set ourselves is going to be met, we have the portfolio manager who look on the portfolio of the Department of Justice. We have identified key projects within the Department of Justice that we're implementing as public works. And we have said on those projects, we will want to get monthly reports. So it's not a question of coming here and leave. Next month, I will want to get a report on the progress that would have been made. And the following month, up until February next year, where I will come again to do the final visit before we hand it over. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, do you want to?
This is Sebzuma Kautan from Sanatolico newspaper. Since we are in Women's Month, how many women and disabled people have been employed in the project?
We continue to employ women, and in such projects, they are always given a priority. We can confirm that there are women who are employed. Maybe later through the portfolio manager, we can give you the stat in terms of how many women are employed. But we have seen them here that they are there. We have seen also young people, they are employed, and that is good. And that's why I was emphasizing this point that we need to open opportunities for local communities in such kind of projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Thank you.